Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hi everyone.
Can you hear us? Hey, hey, hey. Hello, guys. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Yeah, I see that. Everything's fine. Guys, while you're joining and while we are waiting for everyone to join the webinar in live, please let us know where you're based right now. Please tell, hey, hi from London, hi from India, hi from Ukraine, hi from Poland, Germany. Oh my God, super cool. Guys, just feel free to share. Hi, Bristol, UK. Nice. Lviv, Ukraine. I know that. I've been there tons of times, actually. By the way, Sanket, where are you based right now?
I'm based out of India as of now.
Oh, nice. I see
Yeah.
Poland, Ukraine, Warsaw. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome, guys. Sanket, how do you feel today?
I'm very excited, Ilya. So glad that you invited me, and thanks a lot for having me over here. And hi everyone. This is Sanket, co-founder and CEO at Bitscale.
Awesome, guys. So today, this webinar is recorded, so it's being recorded. No worries, you will get everything. But make sure for those who are actually joining in live and watching this webinar, we prepared some really amazing bonuses. One of the bonuses, it's actually like free credits from Bitscale team. Thanks a lot in advance. So feel free to wait at least for like 20-25 minutes and you will get all those bonuses. So, guys, I guess we should start. And for those who are actually watching this as a recording, guys, YouTube, hello, hello. So, mm, let me share my screen and I will probably start. Guys, can you see my screen right now? Please just tell me in the chat. Yes or no? Yes. All right. Awesome. So let's start with a really simple thing. Guys, the outbound is not the same as it was before, right? And it was always not the same as it like a few years ago. We all remember like old good days when we could send hundreds of emails from our main mailbox, try to combine it together with LinkedIn and LinkedIn limitations and get a result. I do remember those times because I was working at Lemlist and at that time we were growing so fast and we knew the market really, really well. Back in the days, like after some period of time, people got like the most amazing era when you could create thousands of domains, hundreds of mailboxes, and start sending as many cold emails as it was possible by utilizing tools like Instantly, Smartly, tools like Zapmail, etc., etc. All those things let you send thousands of thousands, hundreds of thousands of cold emails, and let that look like a paradise. Even if you don't get like a lot of conversions, you still get a lot of leads just because you are putting all the everything on scale. But that era has changed. During the last few years, we noticed that the reply rates go down. The more emails you start sending, it doesn't like even the fact that you're sending more emails does not work for you anymore. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Google, Microsoft, they are changing their algorithms, and now it's really hard to get through those algorithms. Only if you're doing everything when it comes to them. And even if you're following all the best practices when it comes to deliverability, you still might get some issues. But at the same time, even if your deliverability is perfect, but you're using the same mindset of having the filters in your Apollo or Zoom Info or whatever tool you're using or Sales Navigator, and you start sending like generic messages to those people, they will still not reply to you. Why? Because they saw thousands of messages like yours in their inboxes and they just don't want to reply to those things. And in reality, everyone might say, wow, okay, if it does not work, what should like that this channel might not work at all, right? And in reality, that's true. The playbook that you've been using is not working anymore. And even if you're getting some results, probably in the matter of 6 months or 12 months or 10 months, you will stop getting any results out of outbound, both from LinkedIn and cold email, if you are following the outdated playbook, where you try to send as many emails as it was possible, try to go pretty generic with your messaging, and hope for the results. Now it does not work. But what is coming instead of that outdated method? It's actually the new playbook. It's the signal-based relevancy-first playbook that tools like Clay.com, Bitscale, and others are actually bringing to the table and to the market. And for those who don't know what Clay is, this is the company that was actually revolutionizing the market by bringing the tons of buyer signals, sales intents, and tons of data enrichment to your hands. And even without the technical knowledge, you could got that you could enrich your list pretty easily. And again, if you're using the old playbook, you're not going to get results. Even if you're getting results right now, you will not, because the tolerability algorithm will crush your outreach, because people will stop replying to you because you have generic messaging, and you cannot change anything. Even if you fix tolerability, you still are not going to get results. So today, I'm really excited because we've invited the person who's actually revolutionizing this landscape. The Sanket, the founder and the CEO of Bitscale, the company that is the number one alternative to Clay.com. And I'm really happy to have Sanket here today, who would actually share with you not only how other people are using Bitscale, but at the same time, he will show how they're using their own platform, the data enrichment and the buyer signals to get the results for themselves. And the most interesting part, like I decided, oh, that's so funny. Can you imagine? Like Clay.com, the platform that everyone knows, right? Like if you don't know what Clay.com is, just please let me know in the chat. But Clay.com as a platform was built for the outbound lead generation, for the perfect, for the proper data enrichment, data orchestration. But they haven't been running outbound lead generation for themselves, right? They just recently hired a new SDR lead who will actually lead their outreach activities. At the same time, Bitscale has been generating leads both on cold emailing and LinkedIn for their product. So it's pretty interesting. They are not just building the product, but they're actually using it for themselves. And the results are actually amazing. If you take a look at these results from their hate reach, and those are real results. We didn't, that's a real screenshot. Take a look at those results. Amazing, like tons of conversations just from LinkedIn. So, today, guys, welcome Sanket, and today we're gonna talk to him and we'll ask him to share all the secrets, all the interesting approaches that he and his clients are actually using to get the most out of outbound. Hey Sanket, how are you doing today? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, hi Ilya. I'm doing good. Thanks a lot for having me here, and very excited to interact with all the people, all the viewers over here.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, and for those who are with us today, we've prepared some amazing bonuses. Again, when it comes to bonuses, we have plus 2,000 Bitscale credits for everyone who joined this webinar. Guys, this is so amazing. You can actually, can you imagine, like, that's the equivalent to $2,000, almost like that. Or like, yeah, probably a little bit less, but still, like that's a huge amount of credits. Guys, feel free to utilize that. And I will share with you in the chat how to get this bonus right away, okay? So you will have to actually sign up using this link and you will get those credits. At the same time, we'll share with you our own internal SOP and how we work with buyer signals. I will show you a glance of that and we'll show you after the webinar with all our guides and SOPs. And of course, guys, there's one interesting thing. Today, we'll ask you to share your own cases, your own ICP, your own buyer persona, and we will go live and build for you the strategy on how would we create the outbound for you together with Sanket. So guys, please just stay with us for the next like 40 minutes so we can build this together for you. We're gonna choose only 3 people, not everyone, so be wise and be lucky. So before we move on to the actual to the moment when Sanket is sharing his screen, I actually want you to have the proper foundation. So you can take a look at what Sanket is doing from the proper perspective, from the right perspective. Again, so let's just quickly go through that. The new playbook is all about several things. It's not about the spray and pray. It's not about going to Apollo or Sales Navigator or Zoom Info using some basic filters and hope that people will actually buy your products, because it does not work like that. Or it's not about setting as many cold emails as it's possible. It's about different things. And today I actually want you to have a proper mindset, to change your mindset whenever we are talking about the outbound lead generation. So the new playbook actually consists of three main steps and pillars. The first one is the relevancy-first outreach. You don't need to personalize your outreach. You actually need to make it relevant. But how to make it relevant? Just the fact that the company is B2B SaaS does not mean that they're going to buy your solution. Or if the company is in the UK, that means that that's your client. No, we actually need to narrow down the niches, the segments, and our ICP through the buyer signals perspective. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more. After that, for example, if the current company is hiring or not hiring, if they're hiring for how many, how many people they're hiring, do they have any in-house team members who are solving the same issue that you are solving? Do they have a new decision maker join the team? Or whether they actually raised money, or what is the technology that they're currently using? All of those things in combination will actually help you identify who is the most relevant type of the content to reach out to. But you never know what are going to be the right signals to use. That's why you need to test, because cold emailing and the LinkedIn outreach is all about testing. You never know what's going to work. So you need to run a proper testing to identify what's working and what's not working. And for those signals, for those approaches, for those angles, for those hypotheses that are actually performing well, you're going to go all in with the multi-channel outreach, where you can actually double down with the results. So just quickly, let me go quickly through the overall framework and the process. We always start with the deep understanding of your ICP. Of course, you need to clearly understand your buyer persona, your ICP, your clients, why they're buying, at what point of time they start thinking about your solution, or at what point of time they start thinking about switching from one vendor to another vendor. You need this knowledge. You already have this expertise. But now the question is, all right, I know my audience, but how can I transfer that into really great working outbound lead generation for myself? So here's the next step. We actually need to map the signals and data points to actually identify who is the most relevant for us right now. For example, if we have the company who is just recently joined recently joined the new CMO, and your buyer persona is CMO, of course, your conversation, your message to this person is going to be totally different from someone who's been already in this company for years. So at this point of time, we actually need to understand what buyer signals to use. And we've prepared for you the list of the top 15 buyer signals and data points that we personally use for ourselves. Of course, not all of them will be actually super useful for you, but you can actually get a lot of inspiration from here. We've mentioned here the buyer signal. What does that exactly mean from the business perspective? How do we actually utilize that in our cold emailing? And of course, how to get and extract those, what type of tools to use to extract those buyer signals. So guys, I will share it to you today after the webinar, no worries. All right, we have those buyer signals, right? We know that we want to reach out to companies who are currently hiring, or who recently joined, who with the recently joined buyer decision makers, and or those companies who are currently using specific technology, right? Now the question is, we need to build hypotheses and test those signals in real life, because theoretically, we think that if someone is hiring for a social media manager and we are a social media agency, that means they are perfect for us. But it's not. We actually need to test it live, because even if it looks theoretically correct, but in reality, it might not work. That's why we need to adapt and build a different hypothesis to see in real life what's working and what's not working. Our main goal at the very beginning of sending cold emails is not to get leads, is to identify what's working and what's not. That's why you can actually copy our hypothesis framework. But here's the exact example that we personally use for ourselves to run different hypotheses. Guys, we take one vertical, we have 4 different personas and only 3 signals. And by combining all of those things, we almost get 50 campaigns that show us that something is working and something is not. Let me share with you the real example. So guys, we have that's the actual campaign that we are running for ourselves. We have one vertical, it's B2B SaaS companies. We have 4 main four main buyer personas: founders, VP of sales, CTO, and CMO. We have different combination of signals, such as whether they're currently hiring or they don't hire, or etc. etc. If they hire SDRs or do they hire AEs. After that, we combine it together with who is the ICP of their ICP. Is it technical or not technical? And after that, whenever we understand everything, we have a huge matrix of metrics of the different hypotheses that we want to run. So at the end, we have like the same vertical, but like 50 different ideas that we want to test with different approaches and different angles. And can you imagine? It's just one vertical, but 50 different campaigns. And as a result, all the campaigns are going to be different and unique. In one campaign, we're going to say, hey guys, we are doing this. I see that you are currently hiring for SDRs, and probably you want to invest into more into the outbound lead generation. That's why we might help you. In other cases, when we see that they have zero SDRs and tons of account executives, that means the account executives are usually running everything full cycle. That's why we might help them from this perspective. You see, we are actually taking a look at the same list of companies, but from different perspectives based on their specific situation. And of course, guys, I will share with you the exact guide that we have, the framework. No worries. I see that some people are reaching out to me in DMs by asking like whether we can get access to this. No worries, guys. And of course, whenever something works or does not, we need to measure the results. We have this simple approach. If the interest rate is higher than 30%, we scale those campaigns. We actually need to double down on that. But if some buyer signals just do not work or do not work well, we either kill or optimize those approaches. And at the end, we have a different tiering. So at the end of the day, we will clearly understand what is the combination of the filters, signals, and different data points that we need to know, that we need to get tier one type of clients, tier one type of contacts that are the most responsive, they are the most interested, and we are the most relevant to them. We also have tier three, those who actually, they don't want to buy from us right now. We still can keep in touch with them, but it's just not for us and not the right timing. And tier two, it's something in the middle. So guys, this is the overall approach that I want, the mindset that I want to have, that I want you to have. So it's basically the combination of different signals that are far from just the filtrations. It's more about what the company shows to you in dynamic, whether they're hiring, raised funds, do they have a new decision maker join the team, or tons of other different data points and signals that show to you that you might be relevant to them in this specific period of time. Of course, you need to test them on scale and leverage both channels, call email and LinkedIn, to double down on that. So just quickly about us, my name is Ilya, my co-founder is Max, and guys, if you need some help with building the proper outbound, the data research, the proper outbound lead generation for you, we can help you. So feel free to reach out to me if you need that help. And actually right now, I guess I already took too much time. So Sanket, guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. But Sanket, right now, I would be super, super happy if you can share your screen and go through the actual part of the Bitscale, how to actually implement and how they are actually implementing this framework into their
Yeah,
case.
sure, sure. Thanks a lot, Ilya. Let me quickly present my screen. Uh,
While Sanket is sharing his screen, guys,
yeah,
here is the link to use to get plus
yeah.
2,000 free credits from Bitscale. Please, guys, use it out.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Ilya. Like for setting up all the context and like what all things that you shared, right? Focusing on the relevance and all of those things, like make a lot of sense. And as we are working with more and more companies, we are seeing that this particular framework, right? Like rather than doing simple personalization, right? That hey, I just saw you are from this college, right? But just by scraping LinkedIn, like random personalization, this doesn't make sense. But when you are adding some sort of signal to this but overall picture, right? For example, the hiring thing that you talked about, or the funding, they have recently raised the funds or something, that adds a lot of value. So I think you have already covered most of these buying signals, but just quickly want to go through. Hiring one works really, really well. We can have a messaging like, hey, Sarah saw blah 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 company is raising 3 SDRs, and we can get more meetings, something like that. Then we are seeing good results based on this particular campaign, which says like if somebody is already your customer in the past and they have recently changed the jobs, why don't you start tracking them, right? Followers of your competitors on LinkedIn, right? Or customers of your competitors, right? All of this data, of course, can be generated within Bitscale. So just wanted to quickly go through that. Like before I go to the next screen, just to set up the context over here, like I am not really here to, sort of sell Bitscale and, like pitch about what Bitscale does, this and that. The main idea is that as we have partnered with Growth Band, right? Like we think that this is a really, really good time for Bitscale to come out and share like what exactly is working for us. We are still a very early stage startup, right? Like most of the people that we will be having over here. So rather than showing you all the features and everything, my plan is simply like I will show you like the exact messaging, exact the ways I build the lists, how am I sort of implementing the signals, how I am getting the replies, how I am doing the multi-channel thing, right? All those things I am going to share it with you, right? So as you can see my screen, like just before we go deeper into the workflow that I'm going to talk about, like just want to quickly share that Bitscale operates in three sort of stages, right? The first is you build the list. Now that this list can be built by us using certain signals, using certain intents, or like our pre-built filters. So let me quickly share that. So for example, you can build a list using like our 40 million companies, 300 million people. You can scrape Google Maps, you can scrape Sales Navigator, you can get your data from CRMs, lookalikes. Some intent-based list builders are also there, company, competition, followers. Uh, like Ilya said, right? Like who are these companies who are hiring for SDRs, right? Who are these people who are engaging with certain keywords on LinkedIn, right? All those different intent-based lists you can build on Bitscale. Post that, the second step is you do the data enrichment, right? You want to find the phone numbers, email addresses, bunch of things, right? So for that, like if you go to the enrichment section of Bitscale, you will see a bunch of tools, people level enrichments, all the waterfalls, and when you start using Bitscale, you will realize that it is extremely easy as compared to Clay, because when we started building Bitscale, like one of the main problem statement that we focused on was it should be simple enough that you don't need to sort of do a course worth $5,000 just to implement some workflow, right? So that was the main idea when we started Bitscale. So for example, we have email waterfalls, phone waterfalls, company level enrichments, what this company is hiring for, what have they posted, different enrichment. Similar to like Clayagent, we have our Bit Agent, all the LLM models are over here. And finally, the last part is you would want to generate a messaging and send it to external systems, right? So for that, you can, for example, use our integration. So you can send your all of this data to Slack instantly, Smartlead, HubSpot, Attio, Google Sheets, Docs, wherever you want to do, right? So this is the general framework how Bitscale operates. So let me quickly present a very interesting sort of a intent based workflow that we built, and I'll exactly show you what are the results we are seeing from it, right? So the starting point of this workflow is we want to like we as Bitscale want to target the prospects of our competitors, right? This is the general idea that I have a competitor like Clay and a lot of people engage with Clay on daily basis, right? So I want to target that particular audience, right? So as a starting point, what I did was I just listed down who are the main influencers in this industry, right? Who speak about my competitors or who in general are sort of influencers in my space, which is outbound lead generation, right? So I have put down their list, right? Now the next step is and this is running on a schedule that every week we are scraping what all posts are they making on LinkedIn, right? So I will see like Adam Robinson 16 hours back posted something about this, right? And Bitscale's data is live, right? So whatever happened on LinkedIn, like maybe 30 minutes back, we will have it over here like right now, right? So first of all, we are getting what are these posts people, all these influencers or my competitors or account executives are sort of posting on LinkedIn. Once I have it, I move it to the next grid, which is somewhere over here, right? So I will have all of these post URLs somewhere over here, as you can see. So this was the person RB2B, like this is Adam Robinson's post. This is the this is content on the post. And then finally, I am looking for who engaged with these posts, right? So for example, in this post, we got 100 people who commented on this particular LinkedIn post, right? So for example, uh, yeah. So if I click over here, you will see like all the people who have engaged with this particular LinkedIn post, and in this case commenters, and here we have the reactors, right? Now as a next step, I will move this to another grid, which is somewhere over here. Yeah. So once I have the people, so we just simply started with a LinkedIn URL of a competitor, and now we have reached a state where we have a list of people who are engaging with them, right? So these are people who are probably the prospect or maybe the existing customers, right? So as you can see, these are the people, what have they commented, all those data we get in Bitscale. Finally, we have a lot of these like enrichment columns, just which I just showed you, right? So for example, where have they worked, what are the headlines of these people, are they open to work or not, their experience, their education, all the data we will get inside Bitscale as separate columns, right? Finally, similarly, we will do the company enrichment as well, people enrichment, and then finally I am doing an enrichment, like I want to classify like where this person is coming from, what is the country, right? So I'm using a simple GPT model. Then finally I am doing a ICP sort of a flagging, right? So who all of these people might not be relevant, right? Maybe some of them are already employees of that company, right? So I'm just giving a simple sort of a prompt that check for these relevant titles, not the same, but exactly like are these people are GTM engineers or not, marketing operations or not, right? So we'll get a yes or no answer, and the reason we'll also get like this person is relevant in marketing decision making and makes blah 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 comments, right? Finally, we'll find their email addresses. We'll check in our Atio. Atio is CRM which we use. We are normalizing their names. We have a exclusion list, like we don't want to reach out to our competitors. Finally, we'll send it to HeyReach and Instantly. So HeyReach we use for LinkedIn automation. Instantly we use for email automation. So like I have no affiliation with HeyReach. I'm just Bitscale is a big time user of HeyReach. So I'll just quickly present my screen over here. So the screenshot that Ilya showed you, right? This is the one that the campaign that I showed you, right? This is the exact campaign, exact data that came over here, right? We have reached out to 3,000 leads from this campaign, out of which 1,500, 1,600 people have accepted our connections, right? Out of which we have sent 1,538 messages, and of which 500 people have like sort of replied to us, right? And this is just like a single campaign, competitor based. We run a bunch of campaigns, and like we are generating hundreds of demos using these intent signals for Bitscale every day. So as you can see, like these are the volumes that we are running at. As you can see, like these are the message reply rates. Now one more thing which I want to mention over here is that we are not really doing a lot of uh, actually, let me show you in the Instantly campaign. So this is the same campaign, like we are let me just go back. I'll just find uh, 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 uh. So this is my Instantly account, competitor based. Hmm. Actually, let me open that one only. Keyword. Hmm. Yeah, I think this one. So like the reason why I pulled up my Instantly as well is that we also do the outbound, like same leads we push on HeyReach, same leads we also push on Instantly. And like we have a SDR as well who is like separately doing this sort of like calling to these leads, because these are like high intent leads, right? They are warm. They have shown certain intent, right? So this is sort of the multi-channel outreach which Ilya talked about, that this is very important because all of these channels are working independently but at the same time on the same leads, right? So we are getting like 15 replies from Instantly, from HeyReach we are getting different number of replies, uh, Any questions? Like I got a notif.
No,
All
I
good?
see that, guys, just a quick thing. I understand that for some people it might be overwhelming that Sanket is showing like different screens. Oh my God, the flow, here is the enrichment, here's the hey reach, LinkedIn outreach, cold email outreach. Wow, too much information for some people. Guys, feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A section so we can actually go through those questions after that.
Yeah,
But at the same time, if you feel that something is not like you don't quite understand literally everything, no worries. We are recording everything. We can share it with you, and also we can enrich you and share I mean, like share with you more guides and more interesting ideas about how to do this, how to do that,
exactly.
etc., etc. So, guys,
Yeah.
feel free to ask questions, but at the same time, no worries if you don't understand everything here.
Exactly, exactly. I know because this might be overwhelming for some of the users because like some people might not be aware about instantly Bitscale Hey Reach. But the good thing with Bitscale is like if you ever have a question, independent of the fact that you are a Bitscale user or not, just you can like ask Ilya or ask me, like DM me, whatever. We even have a Slack community, so you can ask your questions and we'll be able to help you out. Should not be an issue. So just the last thing over here, which I wanted to mention, that multi-channel outreach works really, really well on the signals that we showed, right? And this is just a live example of that happening in real life, right? And all of this is available in Bitscale as a playbook, right? So you can just change your name of the competitors and you can run the same campaign for yourself, right? So this is the main idea behind all of this. So I won't be boring you with a lot of like Bitscale features and everything. I'll quickly, sort of move to the next section, which is like, sorry, yeah, like I'm pretty sure like many of you might be aware about Clay, right? So I just want to share some of the things what we do differently at Bitscale. So like previously, like Bitscale used to be roughly 50% cheaper than Clay, but now it is almost 70-80% cheaper. The reason is Clay has increased their price. They are charging you for actions, right? Even if you are using your own API keys. So it has really become unusable for a lot of customers. So pricing wise, Bitscale is a no brainer. Then we have better row limits. We have, like I showed you one playbook, right? We have a lot of these playbooks readily available for you, right? And why we are able to do it is that if you have used Clay or like similar tools, you would have realized that support is not really good. What we have over here is like whenever you are stuck with anything or you need any help, you can quickly get on calls with us, right? Like we can help you like with setting these things up. We have web API access, customer support is based on calls. Bitscale is very easier to use. Mostly the data providers are same, right? So why would you pay for the same data like double or triple the price, right? Uh, Email coverage, phone coverage is roughly 85%. We are roughly 75% cheaper than Clay. And just in the last 30 days, we have from this Bitscale waterfall, phone number waterfall, we have got 700,000 phone numbers. 15 million enrichments have been completed, and bit agent, which is our research agent, right, which does proprietary research on the web for you, is being run by almost 2 million times, right? So we are scaling things up. Of course, like we are not big as Clay, but the idea is that we are quickly catching up. A lot of agencies are moving to Bitscale now. Yeah, this is what I wanted to share. Like Ilya, anything which I missed or anything I should be talking about, or we can move to the next section.
Now, we can move to the next session, but before we move on, guys, can you please tell me in the chat right now, because I
Mhm.
see that people are DMing me with some different questions. Can I ask you just in the chat quickly? Can you please tell me whether you're currently using Clay or not? And if so, what plan you're currently using? Just say one, if you're using Clay, two, if you don't use Clay, but heard about it, etc., etc. Just say use or you don't. I see that, okay, I see that people are using, okay, Catherine is not using, the majority of people are actually using Clay here, not anymore using anything. Oh, it's nice. All right. But guys, and like for those who actually said yes, you're currently using, what is the plan that you're currently using? Is it the standard plan or is it the bigger plan? Is it the agency plan? What's that? And I see that a lot of you are actually writing to host and panelists, so we can see that, but not the whole channel, not the whole chat can see those things. Yeah, can you just share with us like what is that? Yeah, I see Explorer, I see like Starter Plan. All right. So I really want you to understand that two things here. The first one is that you cannot live with the same approach as you got used to when it comes to the outbound lead generation. It's either one of two ways. You have to adapt and you adapt to the new playbook, or you just get rid of cold emailing and the LinkedIn reach at all, because otherwise you cannot get any results. When it comes to adapting, you actually need to adapt with the buyer signals, data enrichment, data orchestration process, hypothesis basis to actually run lots of things, not only by lots of campaigns, not only by the filters itself, but by the actually signals. For example, like the one that Sanket has shared right now. And if you need to do those things, there are actually three options. You can build it in-house by using NA10 or some actually custom development. Totally makes sense, but it's hard. It takes too much time. Clay, totally makes sense, but way more expensive, especially right now since they changed the pricing. Or Bitscale. So my actually recommendation for you is to try Bitscale. At least compare it with the current tool set that you are currently using for the data enrichment, data orchestration, and share with us your thoughts. That would be really amazing if you try for the next thing. Yeah, I see that some people didn't get the credits. No worries, guys. Just feel free to reach out to me after the webinar. We're gonna sort that out. No worries, right?
Yeah. So like if you could not get the credits, like either just put that in the support channel, like just mention after this webinar, just mention growth band and then like share your email. I'll get it added. Else you can reach out to Ilya with your email and we'll get it sorted. Not sure why the credits were not reflecting, but yeah, it should be do. We'll sort it out.
Yeah, guys, no
Just
worries.
make an
Everything's
account.
gonna be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So now the most interesting part here. Again, before we move on, guys, can I ask you to feel free to share your own LinkedIn profile, but at the same time, feel free to connect with us. So right now, I'm sharing with you the LinkedIn profile of Sanket. So please feel free to connect to Sanket and ask any questions or overall stay connected with Sanket. The same thing happens to myself. Feel free to connect with myself. I know that I'm already connected with tons of people, and whenever you share your own links, I see that we're already connected. But still, if you are not connected, let's connect. Next thing is, guys, feel free to sign up here in this link to get the free credits of Bitscale. So here's the link. Boom. Here's the link. Yep. Here's the link. Feel free to use that to get free credits. And now, guys, I actually want you, like, okay, we finished with this promo part. Guys, I actually want you to, I want to make this a little bit experimental. And we have 10 minutes before the Q&A section hits. Guys, I want to ask you to share your own case, your own ICP, what you're selling. Probably share your own website. We're gonna take a look at that and we're gonna suggest you the strategies that you might be using and the strategies that we would be using to build the outbound for you. So feel free to share your website, say, hey, I'm targeting these people with this offer. Please let me know what to do. And we're gonna come up with some ideas on what are the hypotheses that we're gonna test, what are the signals that we're gonna do those things. So please feel free to share that in the chat, all right? And while you're sharing, we can actually go through the questions, right? So, the question from Was, the question is, do you have the advanced formulas like Clay has in the Google Sheets?
Yeah, we have it. It's exactly the same. Either you can use the AI to generate those formulas, or you can write your own JavaScript formula. So it is exactly the same.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I see that some people say that they don't get the link, free credits. Guys, no worries. Feel free to
Yeah,
reach out to the support. Say, hey guys, I came from Growth Band. Please give me
yeah.
free credits. You're gonna get free credits, guys. No worries. All right, and just one more question. While people are sharing their own cases, let's go through one more question. Do I understand correctly that the database is collected automatically based on signals framework, and messages are also automatically triggered depending on the context with the help of AI? Can you please handle this question?
Yeah. So basically, it depends on what trigger you want, right? So for example, we have static database as well. So for example, all the companies like ZoomInfo, Apollo has those static filters, right? Put your titles, put your industry, you will get a list of people.
Sanket, can I ask you to, like, while you're explaining, share your screen, like, in
Ah,
your,
yes.
and show the database right away. Like, you already
Yeah,
have this database.
exactly, exactly. Let me just quickly share. Yeah. So if you go over the new grid section, you will see we have a roughly 40 million companies in our database, 300 million people, right? So I can simply put job titles, where this person has studied, like Harvard University, whatever college, uh, how many employees are there in that particular department. So I want people whose company have at least, let's say, 20 SDR, something like that. So I can do that. I can put SIC, NAICS codes, right? So this is a standard or a static sort of a database, right? Now like the ones that we just talked about, right? The ones which can keep on refreshing. These are the intent based ones, right? So for example, LinkedIn jobs, right? I can fetch them weekly or daily or even like last 24 hours, right? So this is sort of a live database which keeps on updating itself. It will keep generating the messaging automatically for you, and it will keep, sort of keep running, keep putting more and more leads into your workflows so that you don't have to touch it. You just go to like whatever platform you are using for the outbound, you can just see the results over there, right? So two type of databases, one which are static, like find company, find people, and some of them are based like intent based, right? So for example, this one is very interesting, and this can almost be used by anybody who is attending this webinar. So if your audience is on LinkedIn, right, you can find people who are engaging with certain keywords. Let's say you are selling security services. Just put security over here, and you will have a list of all the people who are engaging with security. And this keeps on refreshing, right? New data comes in every day, right? If you are selling, let's say, marketing services, just put a keyword over there, right? So you can get a list of these live and refreshing lists every day using these type of signals. And same goes with messaging.
Awesome. Sanket, there's,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. There is one more question by Yana.
Mhm.
Is it possible to search for companies by technology in Bitscale? For example, do you have
Yeah,
the integration with some, like, hey, is
yeah,
it do
yeah.
they use Magento, or do they have the Facebook pixel on their website? Whatever.
Exactly. So we have it. So there are two ways you can do that. Either you can start directly by you can build a list directly by putting a technology. So for example, let's say I want to find companies who are using Shopify, right? So I'll click Shopify, I'll click preview results, and as you can see, we have got roughly 520,000 results. Companies who are using Shopify. This is one method, right? Another could be, let me just quickly show you. Another could be, let's say you already have a list and you want to check, is this company already using Shopify or not, right? So for that, we have technographics integration with built with, and you can, for example, check like if this company has JavaScript or Salesforce or whatever. So you will get that information as well. And by the way, like by end of this week, we are also integrating with their stack, which is a very, very good technology data provider, and we'll have it live by maybe 2 or 3 days. So like if you have signed up on Bitscale, like we'll have a quick announcement on that, but the data is going to be even better.
Awesome. And the last question in the Q&A, can I use API keys? Do you have the
Yes,
API?
yeah, you can use our API keys. So if I go to home, you will see the integration section. So all the time, like you would not want to use Bitscale credits when you are using, right? So what you can do is add your integration. And for example, if you want to use, let's say, HeyReach or let's say OpenAI, you already have an OpenAI key, just put it over here so that you will not be consumed any credits, right? And by the way, we have unlimited actions. Like by using your own API key, we are not going to charge you anything. You can have as many, like you can run the cells as many times as you want. So no limits. Like Clay has put this recently, and we have no plans to implement such a limit. You can use it literally unlimited.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, guys, if you have more questions, feel free to ask us. But
Mhm.
right now, we're going to spend the next 10 minutes. We are not
Mhm.
going to spend more than 10 minutes to go through your specific cases and generate a few ideas for you. I thought about like have picking only one company, but I guess that everyone who actually shared their case, they're actually super interested. So we'll probably spend a little bit less time per each person, but we will share their like our own ideas. So, for example, let me probably share the screen or Sanket, can you probably click on the websites that I'm gonna share with you that people shared.
Yes. Let me see.
Can you see that in the chat? If not,
Yeah.
I will actually
Yeah.
I can
Uh,
share my screen as well if you want.
yeah. If you want, you can do that.
Sure. So guys, can you see my screen right now? Okay, please tell me yes, no.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, right. So that was, I guess, Paul. No, GB has shared this website. You help GB. You help B2B service businesses, and help them get paid faster when offering net terms. That's a really interesting thing. Can I ask you just one more quick question? Who is your target audience? Usually small businesses, right? Those solopreneurs or small businesses, or those who are actually, can I ask you to just, yeah. Reply to me, who's your audience? Not all the B2B brands, right? Oh, I'm not quite sure that GB is here. But if you are, no, you're here. Yes, SMB selling to enterprises. All right. And I definitely see the problem here, right? That
Mhm.
there is an actual problem. Your offer might look really, really interesting to them. So I would definitely put all the stakes on the cold emailing and the outbound lead generation. But here's the
Mhm.
thing. I guess that um, small and medium businesses that staffing, marketing, professional services. Yeah, all right, it
Mhm.
makes sense. So here's the thing. I would actually split your audience by two. Those who are
Mhm.
really small, who have only like the founder of the business and a few people, actually like really small agencies. For them, I
Mhm.
will just go without a specific personalization and the relevancy, just by the
Mhm.
fact that if they are working right now with B2B clients, they already need your solution and they need this super, super critically. The reason for that is pretty simple. If they don't get the cash flow, if they don't get the cash from the clients, they cannot afford, paying the salaries to their own employees. That's why it totally makes sense for you to actually reach out to them right away. When it comes to the medium businesses, like medium agencies who already have like, a few thousands of people in-house, that's the most interesting part. Over here, they know about this problem, but they try to, work with this problem by better planning or some other things. So over here, I would
Mhm.
probably start thinking, reaching out to those who just hired their first operational person. The first COO, Chief Operational Officer, that's the ideal moment to reach out to them. Or whether they already have in-house accountant or financial person within the team. That's the ideal moment for you to reach out to them. So what you do, you just actually take all your target total addressable market map. You do the mapping of your total addressable market. You choose only small businesses. You reach out to them with a direct message and direct offer. And for those who actually are bigger, you take a look who of them already have the COO or operations manager or accountant or financial person. That means that they already have tons of issues. They're trying to solve those issues by hiring more people in-house the team to solve those problems. So over here, you can actually reach out to them with the message saying, "Hey, I see that you hired like this CEO, and I guess that one of big part of that is just getting paid by clients, and we solve
Mhm.
that, something like this." What do you think,
Uh,
Sanket?
one more angle for the smaller side of the audience, which JB might be reaching out, would be that if they are like a, let's say, less than 10 member team, what I would also add here would be that if we can have a information that if this person or the founder has any background of accounting, right, in their LinkedIn profile or somewhere, if they have mentioned in their skills, right, that could give us a good signal that yeah, either they are accounting aware, problem aware, or they are not a problem aware person. So you can always, like, if they are not aware, right, let's say they are a technical person, right, and they have no mention of accounting, they have no accounting member in their team, I would probably reach out to them with exact problem statement, because that will, it doesn't even need to be personalized. You can just say, I'm pretty sure you must be having this problem with your invoicing, right, like you are not able to collect cash because you, neither you have the experience nor a team has somebody who has this experience, right. So I would be using that sort of a messaging over here, to at least for the smaller side of the audience, right. For the like little bigger audience, like Ilya rightly said, right, they are hiring in this space, or like they have recently hired, maybe I will talk about that in the messaging, and I'll use that as a signal.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's basically it. Let's move on to the next case. Jody has shared her website here. That's the consultancy and advertising services for B2B brands. And that's pretty interesting. Like, why is it only for B2B brands? Because over here, I actually see some examples that are not from B2B, like, but I might be wrong. So just let me
Mhm.
know if we are fully focused on the B2B advertising services. If not, like in B2C is a part of your journey as well. So yeah, yeah, please just let me know. But here's the thing, like Jody, can you please tell us like in a few words, what is your audience? Like, is it bigger enterprises, smaller businesses, or who are they? Plus, when you mentioned like B2B, I still see like leisure, lifestyle brands, high like gross luxury, female found led grow businesses in the UK, Europe, and the US that are looking to launch and scale profitable digital products, and expert led businesses. Oh, all right. So when it comes to this, I would definitely try to focus when it comes to, yeah, right, female entrepreneurs. Okay, it's um, I would probably not try to build a super relevancy here. I would also try to actually find you have a you have an amazing angle, right? Yeah, yeah, I see. Like you have an amazing offer which is specified, and you want to elaborate the fact that it's the female founded businesses. That's why you can actually have your angle there and test this approach by just reaching out to female entrepreneurs. The most important part here is that what I would try to match is that the use cases that you already have, or the approaches that you already have, and then the current clients that you already have, with their specific case by saying, hey, I know that you are selling this type of the digital product by using Bitscale agent, the LLM that will go and check what the company is actually doing, what the website is actually selling. Then you say, hey, I know how to sell this to your audience. So I would not probably go with extremely relevancy based, but more like personalized way, because you have an interesting angle, the female founded businesses. So here I would actually think about using Bitscale, identify a Bitscale agent to use LLM to identify what the company is actually using or is selling, then check their audience and then reach out to them and say, hey, I know that you're selling, for example, specific courses to this specific audience. And I help female founded businesses actually get way better coverage and awareness across this audience. And I have a relevant use case. Should I share it with you? Something like this.
Yeah. One more angle which I would also add over here is that we can use the lookalike sort of a thing over here. So, for example, if you are reaching out to ABC brand, they will always have an alternative for the same products, right? XYZ, right? So, what I would do over here is, like, I will first try to find who are the alternatives to this brand, and then I will probably see their messaging. I will not even scrape your target audience. I will scrape your uh, the competitor of your target audience, and I'll see like how they are doing the media and advertising thing. The reason why I'm focusing a little bit more on the alternative is that, particularly in the media and advertising, things work on the like there is a lot of, this is very hyper competitive space, right? So if you can mention your mention the name of the competitor and their strategy, and if you can say that we can sort of replicate that for you at a much smaller scale, right? That will sort of add a lot of value to the messaging side of things. So yeah, this would be sort of my recommendation. Like find the competitors, find how they are doing the media and advertising, and then pitch in your like how you can also do you can help the company do the same thing.
Yes, and the last example, it's going to be the example by uh, Gadah, that's the hypergrowth. Here it's pretty simple. You help the sales teams get better results. Any single time you have a new head of sales join the team, you have to reach out to them because the new head of sales, the new head of sales is actually like the person who, whenever the new head of sales is joining the team, they spend 3 months to actually onboard themselves to understand the strategy. And after that, during the next 3 months, their main goal is to actually double down on the results. And they want to get the fastest ways to double down those results. And your approach and your solution might help them right away there. So in this case, I would definitely figure out and focus only on those who recently joined the team. Like that's the number one priority that I would definitely use in your specific case because they have a personal motivation to increase sales today. I mean, like, and if you can tell them, hey, I know I can prepare the plan for the next 3 months to improve the results. I mean, like, that's gonna work. I guess that's going to be it. Jody, I see that you still might have some questions, but in this case, I would guess that it would be better if you reach out to myself or to Suncat, and we can share like a bit more of our ideas on what would we do here. Guys, I guess that's basically it. Thanks a lot for everyone for joining this webinar. Again, please
Hmm.
feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. At the same
Yeah.
time, I wanted to share with you again the link to sign up and get free credits. So here's the link. Here's where you can get free credits. I know that some of you are not getting those free credits, so feel free to reach out to support saying, hey, guys, I came from Growth Band. Please give me some free credits, and you're going to get those credits. No worries, guys.
And if you are stuck with sign up or anything, just like just DM me on LinkedIn. I'll accept everyone's connect request just after this webinar, and like everything will be sorted.
Sure. And again, guys, here's the LinkedIn profile, Sunket's LinkedIn profile. Here's my LinkedIn profile. So, guys, please feel free to connect. And again, if you need some help with outbound lead generation, please sign up here. Oh, not sign up here. Please contact us here, either on my LinkedIn or here is our website. Please do those things. Um,
What is this
all right,
again?
guys. And thanks a lot and have an amazing day. And bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone. Thanks a lot for having us.